Aloha and welcome to Beachwalks with Rox. Today is show number 104 and you can find us at beachwalks.tv. So you know, my foot is still out of sorts, so it's a beach sit instead of a beach walk today. And I was looking up on the internet about plantar fasciitis, and everywhere I went, it listed the same information. So the internet may have a lot of information, but a lot of it is the same. So plantar fasciitis is supposed to occur from a sudden increase in activity, like running or something like that, overweight, having a very high arch or a very flat foot, and also having tight calf muscles. Well, it's interesting because I run through that checklist and none of those things apply to me. And that's kind of a history that I've often had. You know, when I've gotten sick or injured, it's been, quote, for no good reason. And the doctors can't seem to find out an explanation. And I, like many people, want to know why. Why am I having this problem? And it can be frustrating because we seem to think if we have an explanation of why, then of course we have a course of action that we can take to address that. But I'm not going to lose any weight. I don't think that's going to help me. My calf muscles, I have strong calves, but you know, they're very flexible actually. I do a lot of yoga and I can get my heels down in downward dog, and my arch is normal. It's not too high and not too flat, and I certainly haven't started a sudden increase in running or by any means. So that means that I think that there's two other possibilities for pretty much any injury or illness. One of those being stress. I think stress really is coming into its own in terms of our understanding its effect on the body, and that if there is no good reason, then stress might play a role. And then the second would be soul, that things happen for no good reason, and that means that my soul is interacting with me or throwing up a roadblock or introducing an experience into my life that is part of some plan that I may not be aware of. And I find that actually is very useful. I find that curious. I'm over it. I used to think that I was an oddball when I was younger because I would have things that the doctors couldn't explain. And then about 4 or 5 years ago, I was having a general malaise. I just didn't feel good at all. I couldn't sleep well. I was very sluggish, and I went to a number of different doctors. They couldn't diagnose the problem. And I went to one alternative doctor that does muscle testing for allergies, and this is the school of thought that thinks that wheat allergies and sugar allergies are the cause of a lot of people's ill health. Well, I wasn't allergic to wheat, wasn't allergic to sugar, wasn't allergic to all the usual suspects. But when he did his full range of testing, what he came up with was that I was allergic to air and I was allergic to water. So I thought, oh, well, that's great. I won't breathe and I won't drink water, which is the main sustenance for life. And it just really cracked me up. So obviously I left that doctor. Now, that doctor's been very helpful to a close friend of mine, which is how I learned about him. But obviously he wasn't helpful to me. So the bottom line really today is that, there's nothing wrong with being the odd person out. And it's helpful for me to not take these things too seriously because, you know what? We don't all fit the rules, and that really is the good news, not the bad news. So, thinking different, feeling different. This is Roxanne. You can Skype at Roxanne Darling. You can call at 949-544-1456, and I look forward to hearing from you. Aloha.